Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about and we'll be starting with advanced functions. And the very first function we are going to discuss about is the iterator function. Now what is iterator function? The iterator function is a type of function which only applies to the iterable object. Now what are these iterable objects? Now the iterable objects such as list, dictionaries, tuples and sets. Now those are the iterable objects and on those only any kind of iterable object you can apply the iterator function. Now what is this iteration function again? So iteration function क्या है? So iteration function एक ऐसा फंक्शन है जो कि सिर्फ हमारे आइट्रेबल ऑब्जेक्ट्स के ऊपर ही हम लगा सकते हैं. आइट्रेबल ऑब्जेक्ट जैसे कि लिस्ट वेरिएबल या कोई सेट है, कोई डिक्शनरी है, कोई टपल है, सब उसी के ऊपर आप आइट्रेटर फंक्शन लगा सकते हैं. और इसके अंदर होता क्या है कि आप आइट्रेबल फंक्शन के अंदर आप वैल्यूज को एक एक करके वैल्यूज को ले सकते हैं. आप एक एक करके वैल्यूज को ला सकते हो. तो जब आपको आइट्रेटर फंक्शन बनाना है तो आप यूज करते हो कीवर्ड आइटर, एंड जब आपको नेक्स्ट वैल्यूज उसके लेके आने हैं तो आप यूज करते हैं फंक्शन और मेथड जिसको हम बोलते हैं नेक्स्ट. Now let's see the demonstration also. To define or create iterate a function because it works with the list iterable objects. कि वो iterable objects का काम करता है तो पहले एक iterable object बनाते हैं. Let's say value is equal to a list object. तो एक हमारा लिस्ट ऑब्जेक्ट है जो कि एक आइट्रेबल ऑब्जेक्ट बन चुका है. इट्स आइट्रेबल ऑब्जेक्ट which is a list. Now let's create a iterate a function for this. Now to create an iterable function for this, what we do is, so let's say x is equal to iter. As I mentioned, iter is the keyword which you use and it's a inbuilt function which we have in the Python library, and you provide the argument as back. So this is the iterable function and the iterable object we have passed inside this. Now let's run it. Now what you can do is, suppose if you want to just print the first letter, okay, simply go with next and the x value. So it will give you the very first variable as 1. Now if you rerun it, you'll get the next element. You'll not get the same element, you'll get the next element. And every time you run it, you'll get the next element every time. So that is the iterable function or iterator function. You can see like this. So you're able to access a particular values at a time. Or now once it's done, if you rerun it, you'll get an error because now the elements have ended over there. So that is what happened in the case of iterator function, that it iterates over a iterable object one by one. So it is going in that particular order. Now, if you want to stop this kind of errors, like wherever it ends, you can pass an argument. We call it as an end. You can simply pass an argument as end. So if you run it, it will show you end because it ended over here. So that is a way of keeping the data or keeping the arguments safe without getting an error. So you are handling the exceptions or you are handling the errors in this case using this end argument over here. Okay, so that is what we have as the iterator function. Now the question is, where do we generally use this? Now suppose again, let's take an example that you are dealing with some sort of real-time data, and in that you want to process some certain length of commands only or certain length of data only. You want to process some batches, like you are dealing with some 1 lakh of data and you want to do some batches processing for the batch part. Now in that kind of cases, iterator functions come out to be good use case or come out to be good example to be used. And that is how you are using the iterators with your data set within the data size. So that is what we have as the iterator function. That's all for today. Thank you.